What is up, Wizards fans? Welcome into another Believe in Wizards podcast. I'm Matt Modderno. He's Jahadi White. We're basically still staying undefeated over here at Believe in Wizards. The Wizards, not so much lately. A couple beatdowns in a row. Jahadi coming off a 136-107 loss to Boston, a 119-102 loss to the Knicks, which was a little closer. Almost 30-point loss to the Magic, and what could have been a 30-point loss to the Thunder if the Thunder hadn't gone easy on them for half of the game. So I don't know what's going on with our guys here. Is this just what we're going to get with a young team? Is some peaks of good play and or some valleys of poor play, or is this something specific you're seeing?
Well, what I'm seeing specifically is how we're battling the first half, and we're in the game the first half.
Yep, every time.
And probably in the first quarter, we're usually leading.
Yeah, yep. The Boston game is a great example.
Right. So to me, that gives me, some type of spark, and so lets me see that we can compete with any team. And we have the tools and the personnel to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Not only compete, but we can go off to a really good lead.
Yeah.
So then second half, teams do turn it up a little bit on us.
Mm-hmm.
We adjust late, and that's a part of it. But what
is that on coaching if they're adjusting late? Is that on players? Is that on everybody involved? Experience. Okay.
Experience. More or less, I can say it's on experience. Also, it's on just how it's formatted. Like in the end of the day, we have to do what we have to do to be able to get still some good picks.
Sure.
Right.
That's a good point.
So you kind of have to temper your expectations, because in the end of the day, it may be on purpose a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I look at it like that too, or structured that way, because that first starting five, usually, even when you put Champagny in there, or when Middleton is hurt, we still flow very well.
Yeah, I thought so too.
That starting unit is a fluid unit.
Mm-hmm.
With Keyshawn George. I mean, things flow through him perfectly.
Yeah.
Sarr plays perfectly with George. He plays perfectly with Middleton. He's really a mastermind out there to be so young.
Yeah, he's doing great.
And he's a mastermind in spaces you wouldn't consider someone to be a mastermind in. I never seen someone figure out so many options off a screen.
Yeah, honestly, that him and George together, especially, or I have that in my notes, is like this. Either guy can pop, either guy can drive. George will handcuff you, and then Sarr will kind of hesitate, like you said, and then roll. I was noting that after you mentioned it the last time. That
sometimes he hesitate, roll. Sometimes he'll do a dribble handoff, something real quick, and as he's dribble handing off, he's already taken off.
Mm-hmm.
So he has so many little small details in his bag off of a screen that I never seen before. Yep. That he gets so many options off of it, and it's masterfully how he do it. He does it, He's and I sit there and study him.
That's cool.
I'm just looking at it like, wow,
that's high praise. Yeah.
Yeah. I sit there and study him like, wow, and it may be the European game. He's learning that stuff, because I haven't seen anybody work the screens or the pick and roll or the screens like he does. Mm-hmm. He figures out so many options that if I'm a defender, I'm in a trick bag every time.
Yep. Honestly, and that's, again, we weren't seeing all that last year too. So this is like, maybe he had it there mentally, but now he's being able to execute on it this year. Like that's a big leap.
Yeah. So another thing I see is our first unit and second unit are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
The fluidity with that second unit is kind of
They haven't
rich as
figured,
hell,
yeah, that combo
kind
has
of
not worked
clinky.
itself out yet.
Yeah, it's kind of clanky right now.
Yeah.
So, and that's the big difference too. So with that second unit so far, we're just trying to hold the lead. We
Mm-hmm.
get some good, looks with Bagley and Above.
Yeah.
Bagley and Bub kind of they have a bit that works together, especially on alley oops.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of throw it up and roll and alley oops. I think they do a good job with that. But other than that, we haven't really got much from
Trey's been kind of slow a little
Trey. He's
here.
been slow, but he has been slow, but he's still trying. You can tell he's learning.
Yeah, that's totally
He
understandable.
reminds me of how Keyshawn was the first year.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I
how
can
he's
see
just
that.
trying to figure everything out, getting a lot of fouls, getting frustrated with himself. You
Yeah.
know, it's a lot of tricks in the NBA.
Sure.
It's a lot of guys with a lot of tricks in the NBA, and he's just have to figure that out. So right now he's just getting caught up in a lot of. He's playing college defense, and it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but my thing is, the person I'm not seeing that's really can't get a lot of movement in, a lot of fluidity with is Kispert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Like I think he does better when he has somebody to create some looks for him. And I don't know that Bub out there as the only playmaker is creating like enough looks for him, and you don't really have to guard Bagley too far away from the basket. And Trey, they're really only guarding him as a spot up shooter. There's just like not enough there for all those guys to play together. I feel like maybe even staggering a few of the starters with them a bit more would be better for the offense, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, and I see him doing it sometimes, but completely new unit that goes out there I think that's a part that's what because they knew, but we're going to need that second unit to figure it out.
Oh yeah,
and we're going to need that second unit to get a lot of time for them to get fluid. You know, so and it's not that they don't have good players in that second unit. I think Bub is great. You know,
it's just how the pieces are all kind of fitting together.
Trey's great. You know, solid pieces. Bagley, I think he's doing a really good job in that second unit.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to figure out the other pieces right now. To me, Cam is. I don't know yet. He's What I don't like is he doesn't pass at all.
And that's the knock.
And the first unit, the reason we're getting what we're getting because we're not playing selfish basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We're flowing together. If you want some fluidity and you want that ball movement and you want a offense with a lot of movement, you have to pass the ball. Yeah. You're drawing the defense, Cam, every time. Now, what's one thing he does really good?
Yeah,
he draws the defense, and then he gets jammed, and he's determined to still shoot the shot instead of you have. That means if you get jammed, you have 3 on you.
Yep.
So, we still have some things to figure out, but the upside right now is that first half.
Yep. Yeah, you got to lean into that. Bottle
the
that.
Majority of the games.
Yep. I'm with you. Yeah, the second unit, I think you nailed it, right? Like there's some good individual players there. They haven't figured out how to like gel it into a group yet or what the right combos are to make that work. But also the defense takes a big hit, I think, when a lot of those guys are out there together. Like I think Bub has actually probably been about the same defensively, maybe a little worse here and there. Trey is still a rookie. He's going to get exposed. Kispert is, below average defender. Bagley is not a great defender. I do think Whitmore shows some promise, but then he's like disengaged sometimes on that end if he's not getting the ball on offense. I don't think Malachi Branham, who played a little bit more the other night, is going to give you much defensively. Will Riley's not there. When Vucevic plays, he's a net negative defensively. Like, there's just too many of these guys that are just like, hey, they have some nice complementary stuff they do offensively. There's like a lot of specialists or offensive specialists that aren't a lot of two-way players. I think the only like 4 two-way players on the roster are all in the starting lineup, and I think that hurts.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, right. That's why they're starting, right?
Yeah. That's why they're starting. So now we just got to get the other players up to speed. And one player that I feel like we definitely get up to speed would be Trey.
Yeah, I think so too.
Right. So
it's
Trey is a guy, and the reason I say that is because he's getting a lot of fouls. And you're like, well, getting a lot of fouls? Yeah, he's getting a lot of fouls because he's willing to play defense. Mm-hmm. And in the NBA, it's so many tricks, and everybody has so many little, small, unique ways to put you in a bad situation that you normally wouldn't be able to get in that bad situation in college. And that means he is defending.
Yep.
So, which means he's going to learn fast. Mm-hmm. Right? So he'll believe you me, Trey will get there faster than the other guys so far. Now, I like Cam. I think Cam is not a bad defender at all.
Yeah, he can be really
pretty smart, and he reads passing lanes very well. Mm-hmm. Right.
He loves those pick sixes. He's looking for that to take off every time.
That's his thing.
Yeah,
that's his thing. So, so that's not bad. That's a lot. That's some good upside.
Mm-hmm. I think Cam has largely become kind of the punching bag for this fan base, especially with these kind of bad losses in a row. There's a lot of let's talk about how bad he individually has been, but it's what you just said. I think he's shown some good things defensively, and he does some good things offensively too. The tunnel vision is bad. It's a thing to work on, but each one of these guys still have a pretty big limitation, I think, especially this bench unit. And for him, that's a correctable thing to me. He's never probably going to be some big, playmaker for others, but at least if he's just a little more understanding that, hey, this is a group that if you throw it to them, they will throw it back to you or let you repost or re-ISO. And if you pass now, you'll get it back later and be left covered, and that's better. So if you want to get buckets, the best way to get buckets sometimes is to pass to somebody else. And I think that's something he's got to be more aware of.
I don't think he's playing bad. He's making some silly mistakes because he won't do the next thing.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think he's playing bad. It's more he's not becoming part of the system.
Mm-hmm. Right. Got to fully integrate with everybody else and figure out how to.
Right. And so now he's not becoming part of the system. Mm-hmm. He's pouting sometimes. He's going off with the refs. So it is magnifying, but he's not playing bad. It's just the things that's magnified are really magnified, and they look bad. You can't be at that part of your career, just coming in and just coming over, from Houston. You can't be selfish. Mm-hmm. You have to be a team player because you're not on a level to where you can be. You're right now, at least right now. Who knows? Where he can go, what your trajectory is. But right now, he's not on the level to where he can be selfish.
Yep, I'm with you.
Right, the team. For you to stick around, you have to be a team player.
Yeah, you got to be well liked. That'll help your chances.
Right decision.
Yep. Yeah, last night, there was a stretch where he had a really good block. He's got good instincts as a weak side shot blocker, even for not a big dude. And then there was another possession where I think it was Derek White, but he basically boxed Derek White out into the third row. I mean, when was the last time you saw anybody in the NBA box out anybody? I mean, normally it's just jumping for an uncontested defensive rebound, but he does some things that are really good, but they're not flashy. And the things, like you said, that he does poorly, they're very noticeable. So I think it's easy to pick on him. There'll be just as many situations where Middleton or Bub or whoever does something bad defensively, but they're kind of less glaring. And or are they funneling this guy, their defender who beat them, or are they trying to get help? There were a few times last night where I thought Sarr was really bad defensively because he overhelped, and he was chasing weak side blocks. And it's Keita had 3 or 4 gimmies just because Sarr totally abandoned him to go chase a guy who was fading away from the basket that probably wasn't going to have a good good shot, a good chance to make the shot anyway. And then the ball, just as long as the guy got it on the rim, it was an easy layup for Keita, and like nobody else helps Sarr when he helps. So there's just a few things like that where like it's not as noticeable, but it still really hurts the team. And it looks cool to get a chase down block or a weak side shot block, but you can't just sort of like totally abandon your defensive fundamentals either.
Right. Yeah. I think help defense is what we really need to. I think we're
a lot.
Yeah, especially weak side.
Yeah.
Weak side, we're hugging our man. We're pulling to our man too much, and so that lane is wide open. I think at the beginning of the first few games, I think we were protecting the rim much better than we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I think so. So I think perimeter defense still not too bad.
I'm not with you there. I think the defense has been terrible.
I think, but we can get better at it.
I think there's definitely potential. Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I individually I have not loved any of the actual guards. The wings, I'm not too worried about the wings guarding people on the perimeter, but I don't like CJ's defense. I haven't liked Bub's defense that much. Trey is still a rookie. Like there's just like Kisper's not really gonna help you much on that end. So it's just there's places for them to attack two or three guys sometimes. But
right, but I think George does a solid job on perimeter.
He's great, and he makes up.
Since he's back, he's been doing a solid job on it.
Yep, 100% agree with you.
So that's what I'm saying. We still have
there's
not
pieces.
Too bad.
Yeah, there's pieces, and they both clean up a lot for other people too. I think
they do.
I got like just a couple mini rants here. One of them is Koulibaly going out with an injury again very shortly after coming back. It's a quote lower leg tightness, so we'll see what that means. But you know how it is more than the rest of us do, Jahadi. But like at a certain point, guys that get hurt, even little stuff like this, you start to get labeled as that guy who's never available. And now this is 3 seasons in a row where stuff is starting to pile up, and I'm getting a little nervous for him.
Well, the thing is this. They didn't work, I get it. He's part of he's back part of the starting lineup. He's our guy. So you want to get him a lot of minutes right out the gate. Yeah. But the NBA game is a lot.
Sure. You're taking pounding the whole time.
Right. So it probably would have been better to work him in.
Yeah. Slowly kind of
work him in. So now the body gets a chance to adjust and work in. Yeah. But when you put him right back out there, and how long was he out?
I mean, yeah, for a pretty long stretch of time here, right? Like,
we don't practice.
You don't practice, right? You got no training camp for him.
You don't practice. You have no training camp. So now he's going from 0 to 1,000,000.
Yep.
Right, and the body's getting shocked. So now those muscles are getting shocked, and then things are tightening up, and things can happen. So we probably should have worked him back in a little bit first.
I agree.
And I don't think this would have been an issue if we would have worked him back in.
Yep.
And so do I look at him as injury prone? No.
You just don't want that label, whether it's true or not. You got to protect yourself at a certain point from teams being able to like pigeonhole you as the injury guy.
Because once you get that label, it's hard to get it off.
Yeah, and like you got contract stuff coming up in the next year or two here. Like, well, I don't know. You've only played half the games. Like, that the team's got to be better about that stuff. They know the science behind these kinds of things. I know he's young, but you got to save players from themselves sometimes. And for him, it's, hey, you got to make some business decisions sometimes too. Taking 3 or 4 more games to slowly, ramp back up is worth it in the longer run. So I don't know. Just when I was getting excited, like, okay, maybe some things are starting to click here a little bit. He's getting his sea legs back under him, and now it's like, okay, whatever lower leg tightness is, like that sucks.
Yeah. That's just tight muscles, and just putting a lot of impact on your muscles instantly. He just probably didn't get a chance to work himself back in,
Yeah.
And even when you're working yourself back in, you got to now get comfortable. Your body has to get comfortable. You make some unusual herky jerk moves that you don't normally make, and that could get something, muscle can jam or do the things muscles can do. So I hate that he's right back out, because then when he does come back again, you have to consider the same thing. How do we work him back in?
Yeah, you're starting the whole thing all over again here.
Yeah.
All right. Question in the chat leads me to my next point here, but apologies for the pronunciation here. Tehran said, "What happened to CJ?" And that's what I've got next in my notes here. In his most recent game against Boston, he was 1 of 10, 0-4 from 3 for 3 points in 18 minutes. Against the Knicks, he was 2 of 9, 1 of 6 from 3 for 5 points. A little better efficiency-wise against Orlando. He was 5 of 12. That's 41% from the field. The game before that against OKC, he was 6 of 10, so pretty good, 60%, 5 of 8 from 3. Before that against Philly, 4 of 14, 2 of 6 from 3. So he shot 10%, 22%, 41%, 60%, and 28% over the last 5 games, respectively. That's not going to get it done for the starting point guard on a team that's trying to be competitive, especially if you're only playing one side of the ball. I'm sorry, you're there to get buckets, and you can't shoot 28% from the field for a week in an NBA season if this team wants to stay competitive and keep playing you 25 minutes a game.
So with players to kind of get older, the vets, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if the game gets faster?
Yeah, sure.
And we can't speed up to that point anymore,
mm-hmm.
right? So also we don't jump as high, but we still have the skills, right, that we already have. We know how to score. We know how to still be effective.
Yep.
But we only can do it at our pace, our way.
Sure.
I think with CJ, a little bit of lift. He doesn't have the lift he did have before,
mm-hmm.
and so that means the lift on his jump shots either.
Yep.
So when that lift goes away, your jump shot actually changes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it gets a little flatter, that kind of stuff. It gets a
little flatter, and also now you have to compensate for the lack of lift that you have.
Yeah.
Right, because now still guys going to come out quicker, faster.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have to compensate. So now it's more upper body motion. So which changes your natural shot. Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing that his natural shot is not going to be as efficient as it was because of lack of lift, and now he has to shoot it faster, and now he has to shoot it more with his upper body than put his legs into it, mm-hmm. and so it's affecting his field goal percentage.
Yep.
And the same thing that you're seeing on defense is the same thing that's affecting offense.
That makes a lot of sense.
And it just happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, if he was taller, it may be a difference.
A little easier to get away with it when you're 6'7". Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're just seeing a guy transitioning to that different stage of his career. There's almost no other teams in the league where they'd ask him to be like the focal point of an entire offense while he's out there. And obviously they're giving more of those duties to Keyshawn and Sarr over time. And I think that's going to be better for CJ. Like, he'll round into form a little bit more, and you can be a lot more efficient when you're the third option only playing 23 minutes a game where you're not like getting double teamed and, people aren't icing ball screens on you and stuff like that every time too.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still one of the top scorers on the team.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the problem is our expectation. Yeah. Sometimes the problem with when players get older, mm-hmm. you're not comparing them to other players.
Compare them to themselves. Yeah.
You compare them to their younger selves at their peak.
That's such a great point. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So now we're trying to compare him to his younger self at his peak. And 30, what is he? 34.
Yeah.
34 is not young in the NBA.
Sure.
And it's that wear and tear. And so, I don't want to say I'm grateful we're getting what we're getting out of him because, at the end of the day, we want to win.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still a good player.
Totally
and he's still one of our top scoring players on the team. Yep. Now, do we need as many shots for him to get that? No,
Yeah.
you know.
That's where I'm at too. As guys around him get better, I think he could naturally start to ramp down what they're going to need him to do on a night-to-night basis. And you mentioned our expectations of that player, but also that player's expectations of that player too. Like CJ may still look at himself as Portland CJ, and you
Yeah,
know
we
that
all do.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I still look at myself as Wizard Jahadi.
I
But
hear
when
you.
my
Yeah.
body says, "Oh, you better stop thinking that,"
Yep.
my body don't. No way.
Right.
And that's the thing. Your mind says something completely different than your body, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what's going on with CJ right now. So
Yeah.
now the smart players adjust,
Mm-hmm.
and he's adjusted. But you now once you adjust, you can only be as good as you can adjust.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to be that guy though,
Sure.
you know.
Yep. Next little mini rant I got for you. I need Keyshawn to stay out of foul trouble here. 4 of the last 5 games, he's gotten to at least 5 fouls. That's just not going to cut it. They need him so badly on both ends of the floor. You just can't take yourself out of a game.
Well, he needs himself in the game too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? That Keyshawn needs Keyshawn in the game.
That's well
Because
said.
look, if I'm a guy with a bright future, look, you can only play the minutes that you on the floor.
Yeah.
So I think his foul trouble is a little more it could be smarter. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his fouls is like now at the point he learned, he went through the Trey Johnson stuff.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes he does revert back to who he really is himself, and that's tough when you're that type of guy. You do revert back and get a lot of fouls because that's really naturally you.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to grow out of that completely, and it's not the smartest fouls. It's just not, and sometimes you're going to have to let things go.
Right. Yeah.
Sometimes you can't get everything. Sometimes you let it. The best players, even the ones who win defensive player of the year and they scoring 30, they let a lot of stuff go.
Yeah. You got to pick your spots.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think I'll learn that over time. I mean, all good players do. That's just part of the process,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Last one. I need Trey to be more involved here. We gotta like. We talked about this. The one thing I've really liked for some of these young teams that have had maybe not like the key stars, but you've seen even with Cooper Flagg, Dallas asking him to be their de facto point guard at 6'9", playing with 4 other power forwards and centers. Like you're just not putting certain guys in positions to be successful. And we saw Trey earlier in the year playing off of Sarr and Keyshawn and guys like that a little bit more. Now I feel like he gets more minutes with second unit guys, and it's just kind of him standing around and taking corner threes, and I just don't know if that's. I mean, it's again part of the process. I'm sure we'll see more usage from him later in the season, but I haven't loved that recently.
Trey has to find out what fits. Right. I think it's too bad what's going on with Trey.
Yep.
Trey wants to be the best Trey,
Sure.
but that's also getting in the way of where he fits. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I think he needs to find out where he fits first, and find out how to start being part of getting in sync with the team, getting in sync, and he's trying. And then once he does that, then say, now how can I be the best me in this situation where I fit, right? Yeah. And right now it just seems like he's just pressing everything. Like he's trying to force so much stuff. You gotta get that son at the door. Give me 1 second.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm with everything Jahadi just said there too. Just going through the comments here on the show, there's a lot of that too. Locked on Law, Trey should be getting more meaningful minutes and less garbage minutes. It does no good to get Trey minutes when you're already 20 points behind and out of the game. I mean, I think any minutes for him are good minutes, so I'm not too worried about when Trey plays. I just want him out there. I actually thought he played a few good minutes next to Vucevic and some of the third string guys, essentially, because they were back to a little bit more ball movement. And Like Will Riley's out there. A bunch of his teammates have talked about how Corey Kispert said he almost plays like a European player because the way he moves the ball and cuts. And I think there's a group there that you could unlock that would help Trey more than playing with some of the other guys. Like again, Bagley been super productive, but if he gets the ball, it's going up. Like if Cam Whitmore gets the ball, it's going up. If Bub gets the ball, he's been a little bit better about passing. But now that he's not coming, now that he's not starting, I think he's pressing a little bit coming off the bench too. If I've still got to get my numbers, so it's not there. And Trey, you're further down the pecking order as a rookie. He seems a little more content to just like, okay, I'll take a back seat.
Trey seems like he's his main goal is to be a good player. Mm-hmm. You can just tell that means a lot to him.
Yeah.
And I think that's great. Mm-hmm. The problem is it's actually getting in his way. Instead, of being the player we need. Sometimes you gotta get like, hey, look, let me see what the team needs from me first.
Sure.
Let me see like where I can solidify myself and make sure it's certain things that they can depend on me to do. Yep. Right. Now that I have that, like now let me start it. Let me get comfortable in that. And now I'm comfortable in that. Now I can be myself.
Yeah.
So everything to me is just forced because he wants to be so good.
Sure. Yeah, he's coming from a good place. And we saw that with Keyshawn last year too. It felt like he was doing the same thing. So
yeah, it's the same exact thing.
Yeah, I'm ultimately not worried about him. One of my favorite things I've seen, though, and I've said this a bunch of times, but one of the things Rick Carlisle did for Benedict Mathurin for the Pacers was just take plays from the Arizona playbook and say, we are running these plays that were run for you because we want to help you do a few things to get you comfortable in every game. And it's not like, we're blowing up the offense to do stuff to set up the rookie, but you've got to simplify sometimes for these younger players to find ways to help them. Like you can't give somebody the 200-page playbook, their first couple games out of the gate and expect them, just magically have it all mastered. Like just make a few things easier. And then when guys get a little confidence because they've been successful at a few of the easy things, like I think that's better for you in the long run. And then we can really see where he's at.
Yeah, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When you get in the NBA, you got to solidify yourself. And you trying to stick, and you trying to make an impact right away. And sometimes, we all have done it. I've done it. It took another player to tell me, "Hey, do you realize what you're doing?" Mitch Richmond said, "You realize what you're doing?" I'm like, "What?" He was like, "You're getting a chance." He literally, he said, "You're getting a chance." He said, "Every time you go out there, you're committing fouls. You're committing fouls, and now you're right back. But you don't see the other guys getting a chance. Stop committing fouls and play."
Right. Just hoop.
But I was going out there trying to be an enforcer and to be a monster so bad, because of big. I'm trying to relax. You go
do what you do.
You have enough time to let the game come to you, right? And then when I realized, all right, I have enough time. I'm not playing spot minutes to where I can let the game come to me and then get my points in the right place, right? And that's all he has to do.
Yep, I'm with you. We talked about just growth for some of these guys. I want to talk about Sarr for a minute. Last year, one of my question marks for him was his touch. I just didn't think he had great touch. This year, it looks also improved, which I feel like that's not really a thing or an area where you see guys get a lot better. They don't magically just kind of have soft hands, but just looking last night, he's hitting those fadeaway jumpers. He's got the little soft elbow turnaround. He had a rebound like baby hook after, and the 3-point shot looks more smooth. It's a little more shoulder loaded than it was before, but just in general, the ball just looks like it's coming off his hand a little cleaner. And I think we've seen 2 really good offensive performances now in the last 4 games from him, and it just looks like things are clicking too.
Well, what was good about him, he was already a big who liked to shoot the ball.
Sure.
So it wasn't like you had to teach him how to have fun. So now all you had to do is perfect his form from last year, right?
Yeah.
And perfect his touch and perfect. So it seemed like he worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing I see is that it looks like he's hitting more jump shots and more 3-pointers because he's taking the right ones now instead of taking
Absolutely.
everyone,
Yeah.
right? And so now he's taking good shots.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is really now saying, okay, now it's almost emphasizing how good his shot looks because he's making it. Yeah, and I know he's so not only you can tell he worked on his shot, he's shooting the right shots. He's taking what's given to him, right? And then other than that, he's still being being an enforcer in the paint. And so that's one thing I see. Another thing I see is his confidence is through the roof.
That's where I was going to go. Yep.
His confidence is through the roof. When is his contract year? Because he's playing like he's in a contract year.
He's got 2 more full seasons before.
He's playing like, hey, somebody told him you can get an extension now. And he's playing like when he gets the ball, he's not, sometimes he's patient, but sometimes he gets it and he's going right away and he feels it. He's dancing. You can tell he's having fun out there, right? You can tell that it doesn't matter who's guarding him, right? He knows one of his advantages is his speed.
Mm-hmm.
And his quickness off the catch. That's the thing he has. That's quickness off the catch. If you notice, as soon as he catches, he goes. He
just right away. Go. Yeah.
So now a slower big don't have time to adjust with that. He has a turnaround jumper. He's still shooting the hooks. He's getting to the basket. He's dunking. Now his instinct for offensive boards, I haven't seen that before like it is now with him. Like he wants to be an animal on the offensive boards, and he's having fun.
Yeah. Yep.
So you can tell he's playing like it's a contract year. He has a mission, and he's enjoying his mission.
Yeah, you see the fun and you see the confidence, and just some of the shots he's taken. There are a few no-yes shots, but I'm okay with it because they're still better than. Okay, you've clanked 5 threes in a row. You don't need to take the 6th one. Like he had like back to the basket, like on the elbow, did the like little Kobe shoulder shake, turnaround jumper last night, and over Keita, and I was like, holy shit! Like if you're 7-footers making shots like that on a regular basis, just good luck.
Another thing I'm seeing is he's piecing his game out.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So he's not trying to get 30 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I want to get 5, 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get to the line this many times. Okay, so by first quarter, I should at least have 7, 8, 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's piecing it out so he can get what he wants throughout the game.
Yeah.
Right. So now he's not forcing anything. He understands how much time, how many minutes he's playing, how many times he can score in those minutes. So he's already thinking. One thing, he's a very cerebral guy.
I think so.
Yeah, you could tell. Mm-hmm. He's a smart player. And he's
smart feel for the game's really good.
Yeah, he has a really good feel for the game.
Yep. I could not agree more. I want to talk other big for a minute with some skill and I think some at least offensive feel for the game. That's Tristan Vukcevic. Didn't play a ton last night. It was mostly garbage minutes, which I thought it was funny. Anthony Simons was still in the game for Boston despite they were up 30 with 5 minutes to go. But every time he saw Vukcevic, he went immediately at him and decided that's where we're going to attack. And it's weird to me. Like, obviously Vukcevic is a slower player. He probably has to be a drop coverage big. But he is so deep in drop, Jahadi. Like, I don't even know how they can play any defense like that if that's what they're like. I'd rather him be slow and try to like hedge and just get beat that way. At least provide some resistance than I'm going to float 10 feet away from both men and leave my guard kind of by himself. It just they were feasting in pick and roll with him out on the court, and I don't know how you make up for that, or if that's like it's got to be a schematic thing for him, right? Like he can't be doing that himself, or they'd take him off the court immediately.
No, they understand that he's a liability in that situation. But my thing is the drop coverage help? Is it working?
No, they're getting cooked. So do something different. Yeah.
Right. So showing didn't work. Stepping up and showing doesn't work. Showing and getting back doesn't work.
They haven't even really
Hedging doesn't
tried
work.
that. He
So now,
dropped. So like,
so drop coverage has to work. So if I'm him,
yeah.
and if my last like chance is drop coverage, I'm have to make that work.
Mm-hmm.
So he just has to understand. I have to make drop coverage work in some sort of way. But the thing is I think that he has to lead a little bit too. He has to want to be effective and lead to the where they say, okay, I see that he's good in this, and okay, so I saw what he's good in this. Let's do that with him,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can only let somebody like keep moving the chess pieces with you so only so much.
Yeah. He just, for a guy that looks pretty fluid offensively, he just doesn't look that way defensively. And it's almost like you can see like the robot brain working a
Yeah.
little bit with him. Like soft drop coverage, I get it. Like he's like, oh, I have to back up 10 feet because my guy set a screen. It's just like, maybe it'll click a little bit more, but I don't remember him looking this kind of lost.
No, I mean, yeah, I didn't expect this from him.
But get the offense, he made a couple passes. He kind of head faked a guy into a backdoor cut for a layup. I was like, oh, okay. Like, so he does some things. But I love to acknowledge my own draft misses. I did not think Josh Minot would be very good. And he's a really good NBA player. I truly didn't understand that draft pick. I'm like, all right, this guy is a 6'8", basically center. I don't know, maybe he could power forward at the time. Like, I just truly wasn't sure what he would do coming out of Memphis after his freshman year. And the dude is hooping right now. I thought he was really, really good for Boston last night. And he's his second team. Obviously moves on from Minnesota, but last night he was 8 of 12 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3 for a dude who I didn't think could shoot, made all his free throws, and had 21 points and 5 rebounds and 3 steals. Just a really impactful player. So shout out to Boston for stealing one there.
It's hard to evaluate guys these days.
Yeah, sure.
And your evaluation wasn't wrong. I think what
Yeah,
you
he just improved. Yeah.
You just didn't consider how hard he's willing to work.
Yeah, that's the thing you can't judge from. Yeah, that's a great point.
No, you can't evaluate effort.
Mm-hmm.
Effort can beat a talented player any day. And he's putting effort on the floor.
Effort on the court and effort to improve off the court too.
Mm-hmm.
The shooting is better. He looks like a much more fluid basketball player. So shout out to him. I like seeing stuff like that. All right, our big question here, Jahadi, I got for you. On friend of the show, Dan Favale, the Hardwood Docs podcast, they did a show about just sort of the improvement in young players in the league and talked about just how real the jump is for Keyshawn George. But I had a guest on the show and who basically went through his power rankings of the Wizards' most important or most interesting or most promising was the term, most promising young players. So I would like to hear your perspective. On this episode, they talked about this particular guest. I don't want to throw him under the bus or people send him any hate mail or anything, but he talked about Cam Whitmore being a more promising young player for the Wizards than Trey Johnson. I think that's crazy personally. But I would love to hear from you, your rankings of Alex Sarr, Cam Whitmore, Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, Keyshawn George, and Bub Carrington.
Okay,
so let's start first. Most promising young player for the Wizards.
Sarr.
Agreed.
Sarr is the most promising young player for the Wizards by far. Just because, first of all, the big leap, the unexpectation,
yeah,
of where you thought he would be now.
Did not see this coming personally.
Right, that first.
Yep.
Whatever it took to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you have to imagine what it took this summer for him to become the player he is now, and it looks like most of it is confidence too. But because but I didn't think he was tough as he is.
Same.
Right, so now he's going to a player that I thought he was a lot soft to one of the toughest bigs in the league and willing to compete against anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the determination he plays with and determination to get better every game. The confidence and already knowing who he is at this early point in his career.
Yep.
Like he knows who the hell he is. You don't have to remind him, hey man, you Alex Sarr, you better get out there. No, every day, as soon as he steps on the court, he's like, I'm Alex Sarr. You know. So I think so he's definitely probably the best of the young guys, right?
So far, Jahadi this year, he's averaging just a tenth of the way through the year, so small sample size, but 19 points, 8.5 rebounds, 4 assists. He's shooting 54% from the field, 45.5% from three, and 80% from the free throw line. Oh, and by the way, he's blocking 2.5 shots a game. Like you truly cannot teach that from
And
a
he's
guy.
nowhere near his peak.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
He don't know how good he's going to be.
Yeah.
So he could be. It's a difference. I think Alex Sarr could be actually a household name
I think so.
in this league. Like
I did not think that after last year. I mean, I
neither.
didn't give up on him because he's so young, but I didn't think that.
He's on that incline, and it's steep. It's fat. It's fast. I'll say if I say the next person. So you would expect me to say Keyshawn George. Everybody else expect me to say Keyshawn.
That's who I would say next, personally. Yeah.
But I'm going to say Koulibaly because of the need. Because of the need, like this is do or die for him, right? And now the question is, who is the best, or what's the question?
Most promising.
See, Koulibaly still to me is the most promising.
If he figures it all out, the upside there is pretty crazy.
If he figures it out, he's still them. There's nobody. So the things are when you see look how high he jumps.
Yeah.
Look how long his legs are. Look how there's no one on that floor on our side, on our team, or on the other team as athletic as he is.
It's true.
He's an absolute gazelle. He has so many natural abilities before you even going into skills.
Yeah.
Right. Now he's working on his skills. I see his skills. My thing with him is it's time to go. He has to. What I see is this: he's contemplating too much. He's processing too much. He's evaluating too much. He's surveying too much. And it causes a lot of like herky-jerky turnovers and undecisive moves.
Yep.
And so I just need him to say, you know what? Let me just play free.
Yeah, relax a little bit.
Relax. Because like if he's going downhill, sometimes you're like, should I go downhill? And now he gets to turn the ball over. No, just react. Do what your body tells you to do.
Yep.
Do what your body tells you to do. Don't try to do what the trainer told you to do.
That's a big one, yeah.
Right? And that's what he looks like he's fighting to do, to be a robot and do what this trainer told him to do in these situations instead of just making micro decisions and playing with instinct and doing what his body tells him to do. If he does that, he'll be fine.
What's the Bruce Lee thing? Be like water. Like that's, we need that from Koulibaly. That needs to be the slogan this year.
Like if he can be like water, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I dig that.
And then 3 is obviously Keyshawn George.
Yeah,
right.
Had to be.
And yeah, I would say he's 3 because Koulibaly to me is more of an alien than Keyshawn George. What I like about Keyshawn George is he plays with poise and pace. He's never rushed. He's never rushed.
The pace is credible. Yeah.
The pace is incredible. He don't shoot fast jump shots. But because he takes what the defense is giving him, he sees what he has, and he takes his time, and he just does. He plays with poise and pace. And to me, that's a pro. He plays with NBA pace that early, right? And he's starting to get comfortable, and his confidence is coming. You can see it now. I think his confidence, he still has some ways to go because he can be much better. But his pace is such a pro, and you don't see him forcing a lot of shots or you end up with 20, but the 20 will be here and there.
Yeah.
It's never a spurt of just quick 20s. You know, he's not pressing to score a lot of points. He just happens to score a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
he's more selective throughout the game, and it's not like let me give you 4 quick buckets in a row kind of thing.
He's very selective. So he can go. He's one of those guys that's going to be very sustainable in this league and can have a long career.
Yep, I think so.
Just because of his pace and the feel, you can't. He has things you can't teach.
Yep.
Right.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Third.
You got so that was third. You have Whitmore, Trey Johnson, and Bub Carrington left.
And then so after George, my fourth would be Trey Johnson.
Okay, I like that.
Why? Because I think he has a big upside.
Same.
He is right now. He's green. He's trying to figure it out. He's just trying to figure out. But why I say him is because I think he's maniacal to want to be the best player he can be. You can tell everything is out there to be the best player he can be.
Yep.
His dedication to being the best player he can be is almost bigger than his the player he is or his athletic ability.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, and so that's why I say him, because his desire to be the best player is going to surpass anything else.
I expect he will be the guy that maximizes on his talents, whatever they may be.
Yeah. He's going to surpass his athletic ability of where he could be or where he should be, and he's just going to figure it out. So I think Trey. I think he was a great pick for us, a great pickup for us.
Same.
You know, I think he's a great draft pick for us, and he's going to go through some complications this year. Toward the end of the year, you're going to see some glimpse of light with him, and you're going to see what he can do. I worry about him playing in that second unit because it's kind of it's clanky a little bit, and I don't know. And it's hard to understand fluidity in the second unit because until that everybody kind of starts working in the system, right? I wish he could play with that first unit a lot more sometimes.
Provide them spacing, get more easy looks. I'm totally with you.
He will grow faster.
Yeah. They won't do it just because of where he's at and his stature in the league, but like they would be a better team starting him and then having CJ run with the second unit where he can create more offense for himself and others and carry a second unit offense more and get like CJ, like as we're slowing down, like we talked about, now he's got like reserves guarding him as opposed to somebody's best perimeter defender. Like they're not going to do it, but I think they would be better, like a stronger group because of that.
I get what you're saying. I feel like we need CJ because of experience. He's a leader. He understands the offense. He's been in the league. He's a vet, you know.
Sure.
So he can run it. Trey, he doesn't have the experience to be another figment of the coach that's on the floor, right? So right now, CJ can say, okay, this is what coach wants. This is how we do it. I have a lot of experience running point, telling people where to go. Like, you need that. Fair. You need a floor general. Trey is not a floor general. Bub is trying to be. He's not there yet either. Yeah. So CJ is in the end of the day, that's what he is. He's still a floor general.
Yeah, I was thinking kind of over time, if you got a healthy Coulibaly, he can run a little offense for you. George runs a little offense. It would be able to be more committee-based, I think. But no, that makes a lot of sense. And I think having Middleton out there helps you run a little more offense, too, when he's back healthy. But all right, you got 2 spots left here. You've got Cam Whitmore and Bub Carrington. How you going?
Bub, then Cam.
Okay.
Bub, I think Bub is a good player. Bub is a guy you want on your team. Bub is a guy that can be a good backup guard. PG, you know. He doesn't do anything great, but but what he does is play with heart.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he does is with heart.
100%. Maybe more than anybody on the team.
Yeah, and that makes up for the things that he doesn't do. Now he don't do anything bad. He plays.
Sure.
He plays
He's just solid. Yeah.
He's solid, right? He's solid with heart, and that's always a good, some good character to have on a team and a good player you want on the floor because you can depend on something, right? But now as far as Cam, if I go to Cam now, and I have Cam last, only because I don't know if he can grow yet. Like he's a guy who gets in his own way majority of the time.
Unfortunately, so far, yeah.
Sometimes I feel like he feels that he's more than he is.
Mm-hmm.
Can he do a lot of things? Can he be effective? Can he be effective for our team? Yeah, if he figured out how to like mesh with the team.
Yep.
Like, it seems like everything is an issue sometimes. You know, not everything, but a lot of things. He's very selfish. You can't. He's too selfish, and he's not that level of player to be that selfish. So, no, I mean, and can he do a lot of things good? In the end of the day, he can shoot. He has a decent shot, and he can get downhill and play bully ball. He can be a freight train. Right. Those things we don't have. With that freight train part, we don't have anybody else on the team who can do that.
100%.
And he's hard to stop that way. So, could he be effective? Yeah, because he's his own role. He's nothing. Nobody else can do what he does, right? But
will he figure it out? Is it just it's a big if?
Will he get out of his way to do it?
Yeah, that's what I worry about. Yeah. I would have Sar 1A. I would have Keyshawn 1B. So I don't think there's a crazy amount of separation there. I would have Trey 3 just because of basketball psychoness, like we talked about, and then Koulibaly a slight 4. Those two pretty close though. And then Whitmore next, I think, just because the physical tools are so good that if he ever does figure it out, I think that's the best version of Cam Whitmore to me is a higher end player than the best version of Bub. But I think Bub is much more likely to reach his ceiling than Cam is. So it's a little bit more, wishful thinking.
I think Bub is more trustworthy.
I think so too, 100%.
Just for a coach.
Yep. Yeah, right. And he's going to be versatile. He can fit with any team. He can play him with any lineup combo, really. So, yeah, I agree. All right, thank you for entertaining me on that. That was fun. I think Wizards fans will be much more in line with where we went through than what they heard this morning. So we'll see. Anything you really want to see differently from this team over the next couple games, Jahadi, and we'll wrap up with that.
What I want to see them is being able to come out as a level up after halftime. I feel like we drop at half. I feel like we drop at half, and then also want to get the second unit in sync.
Yeah, I would want to mix that up a little bit. Just try something different and see if it works.
Yeah.
Their next game is Friday night at 7 p.m. They host at home against the Cleveland Cavaliers. It is an NBA Cup game, so be ready for the bright red, ugly court. Other than that, should be fun. Look forward to seeing what they do. Hopefully they took some of our advice. Hopefully they're taking some notes. You guys know the drill. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Rate, review, subscribe. Thank you guys for being popping in the chat here. Sorry we didn't get to more comments. I want to make sure we hit all the stuff on our rundown here today, but always appreciate you guys listening. But until next time, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we get a Wizards win between now and whenever we next podcast. Just one win.
We need one.
Yeah, just
we need one, baby.
Just for the vibes. All right, everybody. See y'all next time.
All right, peace.